Sweet.
All right, we are live.
That was not 10 seconds.
I said within 10 seconds.
All right. All right, I'm ready.
Yep.
As you type away.
There you go.
Welcome to episode 98. This episode 2OC, we talk about Rock and Saw, Live by the Pen, Die by the Pen, and Triple Bat Frontier. I'm Alan Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong.
Anton, how's your week?
Not too bad. It's a little more laid back this week. I mean, we've been having some pretty crazy weeks for the past month and a half.
Yeah, it's nice to finally have a slow week.
Mm-hmm.
Even my work has kind of slowed down a little bit, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
Before I go any further, just want to say thank you to Josiah from the Comic Syndicate for hooking me up with more cards.
Hey, where's mine? Where's mine?
I have a stack.
Okay.
So
all right.
You're more than welcome.
I'll take one.
I thought you didn't care.
I never said that.
All right. Well, speaking of giving things away, I just want to mention we are doing a contest to celebrate our 100th episode, which come up in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You get to select from one of 5 Pop Funkos. You got Thor, Iron Man, I'm blanking out, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Black Widow. Just go to either our Instagram and or Twitter page, like the post, reply with your favorite MCU movie, and tag 2 friends.
That is so awesome that we're doing this.
I know. It's funny. I thought Twitter would have taken off more, but Instagram is the one that's taken off. So if you want better odds, go on Twitter.
Okay, go on Twitter.
Yeah.
So are we doing one on each, or we're just choosing one?
One on each. So
Okay.
2 Pop Funkos up for grab, one on Twitter, one on Instagram.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. It's always fun. I always wanted to do one. So I think I know it, 100th.
Yeah, it's kind of
crazy.
It's really crazy that, we're hitting 100 episodes.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to give away stuff than it is for us to coordinate a celebration for a 100th episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking about some things to celebrate. So hopefully it's going to be a really good episode. So look out for that one. I'm going to share a lot of, personal things in that episode.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I'm down. All right, Anton. Is that it for our week updates?
Yeah, let's get into the show.
All right. Let's go to news. All right, Anton. Actually, it was about a year ago, the week before, or the week of the movie draft, that we had Josiah from the Comic Syndicate on the show, and we talked about Stan Lee's ex-business manager that was stealing his blood and trying to sell pens out of it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but
right. Well, the ex-manager has been officially charged with 5 counts of elder abuse, 1 count of theft, embezzlement, forgery or fraud against an elder adult, false imprisonment of an elder adult, and a misdemeanor count of alleged elder abuse. The manager's name is Kia Morgan. Yeah, it was bad. Apparently, it was even to the point where the family's alleging that he prevented Stan from even seeing his friends and family.
Well, that's pretty crazy. I'm kind of curious on how long he was his manager for.
I know. I was trying to get more information, but I couldn't. It was very I think the news was just trying to get it out there as fast as they could.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy to have someone that you work close and dearly with, and for them to do something like that is just absurd. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, the article did say it was one of his ex-managers, so I'm wondering if Stan had multiple managers.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. He has to have a couple of them. I mean, for him to not have a specific one means that a lot of them are not that trustworthy.
Well, you would think you'd have one for either your personal and or business finance. I mean, Stan Lee is an icon. He is his own business.
Yeah.
As what's his name? Oh my God, Jay-Z. There you go. I was going to say LL Cool J. As Jay-Z says, he's not just a businessman. He's a businessman. And I mean, you also have a manager that knows the comic book world, and you also have a manager that needs to know the entertainment world. So it makes sense that he had multiple managers. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did have multiple managers.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they're bringing charges against him. I'm shocked that it took a year to bring those charges up, but I guess they wanted to bring all the documents together.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hope I don't have a
All right,
manager
Anton,
like
what
that.
else is going
So,
on? Yeah, seriously.
hmm
All right, so what else is going on to entertainment world?
this is very interesting. I mean, are you a big fan of Chris Rock by any chance?
Yeah, but it's been a while since he's done stuff that like I'm actually like excited about though. Like
Yeah,
he pops up and does cameos, but beyond that, not
yeah.
really.
I know that sometimes he pops up in movies like with Adam Sandler in that Grown Ups
Yeah.
movie. I know that he did a comedy stand up special, but I think that's probably the only thing that he's done for quite a while now. So I
Yeah,
guess
I think the last thing I did see him in was that comedy special, and he did a cameo on The Real Husbands of Hollywood with
mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart show.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
keeping a little low on this. But anyways, he's coming back, but with something very odd and, it's kind of different for him to go down this road. He's
Hmm.
bringing back the Saw franchise. He's basically rebooting the whole entire movie. I don't know if he's going to star in it, but I know that he has, producer rights and stuff that he's working on right now in order to bring the whole franchise back. So, I don't know. This is kind of different for him. I don't know if I would be the type of person that would be interested. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Chris Rock has a dark side of him, and that's why he's so interested in rebooting the Saw series.
Maybe, but he needs to start a new franchise.
Yeah.
Saw had like what eight Saws.
Yeah, there's like 8 Saw movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much. It's been beaten to death.
hmm
I think it's going to get to that Friday the 13th level of like number of movies coming out. I think what we had a Saw movie like every year, every other year at some point.
hmm
Um,
But
yeah,
but I'll
it's
tell
just
you what though. I mean, if it's Blumhouse, I haven't really looked this up, but if it's Blumhouse working on it, then I think they're gonna put a lot more effort into it. Because I mean, Halloween that came out recently, it was actually really decent, like
yeah,
surprisingly decent.
but see, I don't know. I think that's been overdone.
hmm
I hope if he does revamp it or if he does bring it back, I hope it's a totally different twist on it. Because to be honest, the only Saw movie I liked was the first one
hmm
because I did not see that twist coming. That was a beautiful twist.
hmm
And if the franchise just ended there, maybe another movie that could give closure,
hmm
I would have been fine with it. But damn, they milked that franchise.
Yeah. It was a good idea for James Wan to do that at first, and I think that was the reason why he stepped off of it after I think the second one. Um, but yeah, I mean, lately a lot of horror movies don't really do that well for a lot of audiences because a lot of them are so predictable. So I think
Hmm.
like I think nowadays horror movies has to be like a certain criteria to capture the audience, you know? So I think, like the Chucky movie, I think they're going more of a serious, but of course a little bit of comedy in there too. But I don't know. I think if we can see where this new Child's Play movie lies, we can really see what's going to happen in the future for the horror movie series.
I have high hopes for the Chucky movie. For a horror movie, I should
hmm
say.
Yeah.
That being said, I give them props. They're kind of going back with practical effects.
Yeah. I like that. hmm
Because it's gonna be an actual animatronic Chucky doll. So it's
hmm
not just gonna look robotic. It's gonna be a little robot,
Yeah.
which adds another creepy level to it.
hmm I think
I
if it's like a actual puppet like that, I think puppets are scary. I mean, they're all funny and stuff on Sesame Street, but sometimes if you really think about it, if you just go one different direction with those characters, it could be really creepy.
hmm I smell that they might release like a $2,000 Chucky doll, like a replica of the robot.
I'm pretty sure. I remember going to Toys R Us, and there's one section where they have like the McFarlane characters figurines,
Oh
and there would
yeah.
be like a
Hmm.
Chucky in that area. Yeah.
Oh, fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't take that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I
So,
can work at Toys R Us walking through
I
that aisle.
I I will say I will say Chucky did get uh, uh funnier, more cheesy as the movies went on.
Yeah.
Um, ooh, you know what? I did have some creepy stories from when I worked at KB Toys, so I
Oh,
might try
wow.
to I might think of some
Yeah.
and bring it up. Uh, I mean, it was not really a story, but something a side note. None of us ever wanted to touch the Ouija boards.
Oh, yeah. Because you never
We
were, yeah. Because you never know what people would do. I mean, even when we were hanging out at the mall with our friends back in the days. I don't know if you remember this, but some of our friends are interested in witchcraft. So there would be a bookstore
yeah.
down on the first floor where they usually go and look at witchcraft books, which is
It
totally weird and different.
golden books, right? Or
Yeah,
golden
Crown books.
crown books.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't help that that section was like in a freaking corner of
Yeah.
the bookstore.
It's like, let's put this in the most creepiest
Yeah.
place in the store. Yeah.
No, I'll definitely have to think of some of the things that I recall from working there.
Hmm.
I even got to see the seedy underbelly of Westminster Mall.
Oh no.
The areas that like, holy crap, I didn't know this went this deep down here.
Oh, I mean, well, that mall is built like a very long time ago, and there was
Uh,
different purposes for it, right?
I think 70s.
70s? Oh
70s.
wow.
It's not that old. It's not
Hmm.
that old. I'll go into it later.
Dude, it's if you think about it now, that's like almost 50 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You're
Hmm.
right. 50 years now.
Hmm.
All right, that's on. We got some other awesome news.
Hmm.
Something we've been waiting at least what, 2 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years, and we're pretty excited about it. Rick and Morty season 4 is finally coming back, uh, and it's gonna be this November. So,
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before on the episode. They've been trying to do a contract where they would do like a consistent amount of episodes where it keeps coming out and it's a lot of seasons. So that way they know that, this show's going to survive for a long time. So that's what they've been trying to work on for the last 2 years. And once they got
Well,
that deal, once they got that deal down is when they start doing all the episodes.
yeah. Well, to be fair, the original deal
Hmm.
ended.
Yeah.
The original contract they had with Rick and Morty. Uh, uh, but I don't think Cartoon Network expected it to, or Adult Swim expected it to be as big as it was.
Hmm.
So when the contract ended, what was his name? Something Roland? Like I his name now.
Justin Warland.
Justin Roland. Justin Roland. He said, "Better pay us." And that's how they negotiated that deal because there was no production going on for the next season.
Hmm.
So by the time the contract was worked out, and they did get to work on the script for the following seasons, I mean, it takes about what? Well, it was probably a couple months of negotiation. Then you need about a couple months for writing the episodes, voicing them,
Hmm.
and then probably 6 months worth of animation work.
Yeah.
So that added up to 2 years.
Yeah, but they locked it down. They got a couple seasons out of it, so
Yes.
we're gonna be seeing a lot more of Rick and Morty for the next probably at least 5 years or more. So I'm pretty
Yeah, we
excited about
shouldn't.
that.
Yeah, we shouldn't be seeing any long pauses between the two now,
Hmm.
between seasons now, because I mean they have the contract locked down, they have a schedule. We should be good.
Yeah, I wish I could do that with anime. I really hate the fact that you have to wait for so long. I mean, for example, we waited like almost 3 years for Attack on Titan to come back on, and now it's
Yeah.
pretty consistent. It's already halfway through the third season, and I've been watching it recently, been catching up, and dude, it's getting even better and better. I love the story. So, mhm.
All right. Let's see here. Where's my notes? All right. We also got some bat news.
Yep.
I'll let you go with the first bat.
Okay, so we finally got a trailer to see what Ruby Rose looks like as Batwoman.
Hmm.
So this is very interesting because it's a whole different take on what we know of Batwoman. we never really knew that she was, a lesbian.
That's one
Which
of the
is
newer ones.
yeah, which is very
The newer
different.
stories.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Which is
I don't
very
think it was ever
different.
discussed before.
Yeah, and I think it's a very good direction to go into because I mean, kind of opens up a whole different view of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't really have that many open shows like this, and it's on the
I
CW.
Yeah, I still feel they were pandering. However, she looks badass.
Hmm.
She looks good in the trailer.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't see the full trailer. I saw like the screenshots because
Yeah.
I was at work
Hmm.
and I'm a responsible worker,
Uh huh.
but not responsible enough to focus completely on work.
Okay.
um, but yeah, no, I'm glad it's coming out that way. It's a good sign. I I need to watch that episode of Arrow when she popped up
Hmm.
when they
So
introduced.
okay, so I really like the way that they portray her in this. She's very fierce.
Yeah,
She
she has to
doesn't.
be.
Yeah, she doesn't seem weak at all throughout the whole entire trailer that we see here. The Batwoman suit. Uh, Very cool. Very similar to some of the other ones that we've seen before in other
Very
movies.
combat design
Hmm.
aesthetic to it. Hmm.
So the thing that I'm kind of all on is her hair color. It's red.
Hmm.
And I know that Ruby Rose has short hair, but I guess it's a costume.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious if the hair has any special properties, because usually a lot of superheroes who have long hair usually get their hair pulled on, stuff like that. I don't know.
So I don't know what you mean by special properties.
Because I mean, it's
Like, what do
just
you
a
mean?
wig. Like, does it do
Yeah.
anything special? Just within your
Oh,
hair.
okay. Like, is that her bat belt? Her bat utility
Utilities.
utility
Uh-huh.
belt.
Yeah.
Utility.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one.
Hmm.
All right. Moving on to more bat news. Moments before we started recording, Anton, we got word that Warner Brothers and Matt Reeves were talking about who's gonna be the new Batman since Batfleck is out. The two people on the short list were Nicholas Hoult
Hmm.
and Robert Pattinson,
Yeah.
and Variety was reporting that it went to Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, but they're trying to shortlist it right now, so they aren't really confirming anything. But Variety is
Yeah,
a pretty
I
good
know, and that's
source,
what I'm saying.
though.
I was seeing, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but I was seeing back and forth, and Variety was saying, nope, he's gonna be it.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. Wow. Uh,
yeah, I know. Weary still early.
yeah. When I saw this earlier, I was really thinking hard about it. I think I don't think that they are going to do. Um, I don't think he's going to replace Ben Affleck. I think it's going to be its own movie, kind of like how
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix is doing the Joker movie. Yeah, so I think it's going to be like probably an origin story because I mean Robert
yeah,
Pattinson does have that younger face.
he's what, in his 30s.
Yeah.
No, I think they're trying to steer away from the Batfleck
Hmm.
version because Ben Affleck's Batman he was aged. He was older Batman. He's seen shit. He's over criminals bullcrap. He's just done dealing with bullcrap. So
Yeah.
he's very like he's not as tolerant. He uses guns. Was it in Batman versus Superman? He just obliterated a gang of hoodlums in a
Hmm.
warehouse with his bat car. They
Yeah.
just just unloaded on them. Um, yeah, so I think this one they're trying to go to the younger version, more origin, which is gonna be cringeworthy if they do the damn parent that scene again.
Yeah. It's in every single
Uh,
show and movie and
yeah, damn it. how many times we have to see Martha Wayne's pearls fall on the ground.
Yeah.
Um, so I get that Robert Pattinson has the look
hmm
of a younger Batman. He like just has the facial structure.
Yeah, I mean he has the chin.
Yeah, the chin.
Usually it's the lips and the chin that really makes the bat mask look good.
Uh, However,
hmm
Batman also has a charisma to him
hmm
that sells the Bruce Wayne playboy characteristic. I don't think he has that swagger.
I think he does, and I'll tell you why. There's a couple of independent movies that I really liked him in, and he really draws back from playing the same character as what we see in Twilight. And I think if you really check those movies out, you could see where he shines in his acting. Is he puts on a whole totally different character. So I mean, I think he can handle it. I think he can.
I'll wait and see.
hmm
I did post on our social media. Are you hashtag Team Batword or Team Batflick?
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
you know
So
that's the one thing that I'm so confused with DC is how they're um doing their whole.
designing their stories.
Yeah, I'm so confused on what is
So are they.
connected. Yeah, yeah.
No, I think DC is really trying to pull from the comic book world because the comic book world has multiple series going on at any given time.
hmm
I mean, you'll have one storyline, the traditional storyline. You'll have an altered version. You'll have the one-off storylines. I think the DC is just trying to go. You know what? Let's just tell these stories. We're not even gonna try to build an MCU. They've tried, they failed. Let's just get out there and tell these stories. And I think that's what we're getting with the Joker.
Yeah, and Ezra Miller is fighting really hard trying to get the Flash movie to work because it was so close to just total shutdown with the whole entire production. Did we talk
Yeah.
about that?
No, but we all assumed.
Yeah, because he actually hired someone to help him work on finishing the script because the studio didn't really like the script and they tossed it. So then him and some other guy is writing the script and he's trying to get it greenlit. So as long as they greenlit it, I mean they're golden. But right now, I haven't really checked up upon it, but that's pretty much where they were at last time I saw.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna get really complicated, but I think that's why DC rebranded their franchise as the Worlds of DC.
hmm
That way, it's multiple worlds. It's
And they
not
can
just
do
one
wherever the heck
storyline.
they
They can
want.
just,
Yeah.
yep, they can just do the one-offs at the very least. At the very most, they can do trilogies for certain movies, but this way they're not connected. They can just play along with the stories and tell the
Yeah.
stories that we know from the comic book world.
That's true. Because, I mean, they don't really have anybody to helm the whole entire. I mean, they did, but
They
then he
had
bailed. He bailed. Zack Snyder.
no, no, but didn't they also give it to what's her name? Um, oh, that was Star Wars. Never mind. That's something else. No, yeah, you're right. They try to get a
Because
Kevin
it
Feige
was.
type, and
Yeah.
they couldn't keep the producers out. I think the executives of movies is what kills this.
Yeah. Because Christopher Nolan was on it for the longest time, trying to keep everything afloat, and he hired Zack Snyder to pretty much take his place because he doesn't want to do it, and
Yeah,
even he couldn't handle it, and he had to, he had family problems that he had to take care of. But I mean, yeah, look at Kevin Feige. Well, in a way, I guess he has more power to it because he was the president of Marvel Studios, so he's the head of everything. And then,
yeah, yeah.
Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan was working for Warner Brothers. So I mean, there was corporate people way up. Even though they wanted something, they couldn't call the shots. So I'm guessing that's probably what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they gave the power to the writers, the
Mm-hmm.
creators, and that's what made the difference.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have producers because executives worry about making money on multiple ends.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're able to sneak in random costume changes or uh, just different ways to monetize in the toy world, in other aspects, product placement, they'll do it. They don't care how it impacts the story.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give it to the creators are going to focus on the story. Everything else comes second.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like what people say: like, if you want to make money, do what you love, and the money will come forward.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the writers did. They created what they do, what they have passion for, and the money came.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. Enough of this passion talk.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going on in the news?
So there's this clip online right now on YouTube where Halle Berry, let me see if she was training for John Wick. Have you seen any of these clips?
Catwoman?
Let's not talk about that movie. It's probably one of the worst movies ever made.
Yo, speaking of DC failures.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen any of these videos where you see Keanu Reeves? He's basically doing like spectacle training with like weapons.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I've
you've seen those, right?
I think I saw. I think I saw it for John Wick 2 actually before that one.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
they actually have Halle Berry this time doing the same thing, and she looks freaking badass, dude. I gotta send you this link so you can have a look at it.
But how did Halle Berry find time when she's in Paris? I think.
That's what I thought. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh dang! Look at her badass with that freaking M16 A4.
Yep. Question mark?
I'm
Yeah.
on Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's crazy because throughout the whole entire video, you see her double tapping, and it's so badass. Like, you know, it's freaking legit when you're double tapping all of the targets, and every target that she shoots at, it's a hit. And it's not like on the side of the bodies or anything. It's like pretty much like in the center, in the chest area. And sometimes certain parts you could see her shoot straight into the head, which is so awesome. But anyways, seeing this makes you want to see the movie even a little bit more, Alan? Maybe? Yeah?
Yeah. Nah, meh,
Yeah.
maybe when it comes to, maybe when they come to Netflix.
Oh my god, dude, this movie is worth every penny.
The more you and like Josias and I think Carl, out of her, who else, try to like pull me into this John Wick world, the more I try to resist. I'm like, no.
Okay. If I had to compare this to Equalizer, okay, I would choose this over Equalizer any day because Equalizer. You saw Equalizer, right?
I saw bits of it. I was going to take it after like 10 minutes.
Wait, first or second one?
Second one.
Okay, second one's shit. Don't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
First one is good. If I had to compare it to that, I would totally choose John Wick because
Okay.
I mean, okay, if you love The Matrix, you're gonna love John Wick. The reason why is because the stunt team that was on The Matrix, they worked on John Wick, so that's why it's so good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Anton.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Enough with your Wick.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? What's this AMA?
Okay, so I think it was yesterday on the Marvel Studios subreddit, they had Kevin Feige come on and do a Ask Me Almost Anything. And almost anything. They had to change it because you can't answer everything.
Yeah, they're gonna start asking about Phase 4, saying, "Yo, dog, doesn't ask me anything, so I'm asking you anything."
Almost anything. Yeah, so I picked out some very interesting ones. He didn't really talk much about anything else except what he can talk about. So, yeah, these are some of them. Someone asked, how far is the MCU planned in advance? And this is very interesting to us because we don't really know how far they usually look into the future. So his answer is, we usually work with a specific 5-year plan at any given point, but often have a general plan that extends much, much further. So like Endgame and Infinity War, they knew where they were going,
Yeah.
but that was pretty much
Not
like
just
way out there.
not just that, but I feel they have uh, a a gradient level of like knowledge. Like the big picture, 10 year, like 5, 6 years down the road,
Hmm.
they know the general structure they want to go.
Yeah.
Then a couple years, say like 3 years, they know for certain these key points need to be part of that story that we're writing now.
Hmm.
And then 2 years, 3 years, that's when like they know for sure what stories are coming out and what they're going to tell. Because I think they have to leave room for adjustment if needed, if something
Hmm.
fails or if a certain story doesn't work or if they lose an actor.
Yeah.
Um, I think the most notably is Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah. True. Okay, so this is another question that I found very, very intriguing also. This guy says, "This has been eating me. How much did Stan Lee know about Endgame before he passed? Was their
Ooh.
version far enough along for him to screen it, maybe before his death?" Um, and then
Uh,
Kevin Feige
Endgame.
says,
Wait,
sorry,
Endgame or Infinity? Endgame,
Endgame.
right?
Endgame.
Hold on, let me guess. He at least knew the story and saw some of the scenes because didn't they film Infinity War and Endgame simultaneously?
Back to back, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so
the answer.
So Kevin said Stan loved to wait and see the final movie at the
Oh,
premiere.
bullshit.
So unfortunately, he did not get to see the finished movie, but Stan did get a download of the full story the day he came to shoot his cameo. So he got the full
Hmm.
script. So he got the full story and
Okay.
everything, but he
See,
just
there
didn't
you
get
go.
to see it. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so another guy on here asked 3 questions. First question is, are there any storylines that you think are unfilmable? And then he says, everything is filmable nowadays. It's about finding the most resonant character stories to bring it to the big screen. Because I know there's a lot of storylines that people love from the comics. It just comes up to if it makes sense to bring it to the storyline.
So I agree with him. And the funny thing is, like, as much as I want to say some things are unfilmable,
Hmm.
uh, two characters, uh, maybe more, but two of them specifically come to mind. That I 10 years ago, I would have like said, oh, that's gonna be ish. That's not gonna work. The first one is Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because if you told me Black Panther was gonna be made into a movie, I would just imagine a cheesy costume, no real acrobatics or all CGI. This one, it's CGI, but it's damn good looking CGI.
Yeah.
The other one is Thor.
Hmm.
Thor is super cheesy. He is Olympian, well, not Olympian, a Norse god,
Hmm.
and it works.
Yeah, it totally works. So here's
Yeah,
what. Okay.
although the original Thor design almost didn't work. He was super blonde. If you
Oh
look like a
yeah,
Thor,
that's actually in one of the AMAs here. I didn't save this one, but I guess I'll probably bring this one up. Let me see.
the darker Thor's hair got, the more lovable he became.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let me see here. Where?
Maybe Natalie Portman's character was into blonde guys, and when he lost the blondness,
Okay.
she broke up with him.
This is what Kevin Feige said. He said, I made a joke once about regretting dyeing Chris Hemsworth eyebrows blonde for the first Thor. But the truth is, it's everything in those films and the little details. The perfect ones are not so perfect that carried us through the experience of Endgame. Therefore, I wouldn't change a thing. So, I mean, it was absurd to see, those eyebrows. But then,
Yeah,
that kind of gives the fun factor of changing his character for Endgame that we saw.
yeah, because it gives you a physical uh, tracking of his progression.
Hmm.
He went from this god that as as Thor and Loki are fighting it out in Avengers, in the what you call it, the Shield hovercraft or whatever it
Hmm.
was.
Hmm.
And Captain jumps off the hovercraft to catch up to them and stop them. Who was it? Was it Black Widow? She
Yeah.
told Captain, "Careful, Captain. These guys come from mythology. They're pretty much gods." And then you have cut to 7 years later to Fat Thor.
Yeah. Yeah. Shows you the more humane version
Exactly.
of Thor.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
shows he's flawed. He's not perfect. He's
Hmm.
he's humanized.
Yeah. All right, so the second question is, has producing these films changed the way that you read and enjoy comics? And he says, not really. I still like to read comics every week from the fans' point of view. And I think that's a good thing, because there's a lot of stories that are still being developed, and especially people have different takes on different characters and storylines. So it's always good to have, an open mind to something new, because it surprises you sometimes. So I guess it's a good thing for him to still be a fan instead of controlling the whole entire fleet. Um,
Yeah, you have to learn how to appreciate it from a fan standpoint before you can make something for a fan, because you
yeah.
don't know.
Hmm.
Because if you don't, then you're making something for another group,
Hmm.
but you add more value to it when you are a member of that group.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and the third and last question that he asked was, who is someone that's not yet to appear in the MCU that you're itching to introduce? And Kevin Feige says, you'll know soon enough. So I'm guessing D23 for sure.
There is a. I'll try to find it. There's some theories going around
Hmm.
regarding who the next big baddie is going to be in the MCU.
Okay, so
And
let me put this out right now, so then it's on this episode. I think towards the end of the whole timeline that they're going to unveil, there's going to be a Silver Surfer. Because,
they
of the
have to
whole
integrate
Fox thing.
X-Men,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four into this.
Yeah. So I think Silver Surfer standalone movie would be the
Huge.
perfect. Yeah, it would be huge. I would love to see that, because I know that we're getting into space now.
Hmm.
So Silver Surfer has to be something that is brought up, and then we're gonna get
Would
like
Gal-
more other properties.
would Galactus be too much to ask for?
I think he's the ultimate one. So, um, I think, yeah, I think there will probably be a set movie that is as big as the Infinity War movie with Galactus.
Yeah.
But it could be too
So
soon to have it. But I mean, towards the end of the phase, yeah.
so the one that IGN is proposing
Hmm.
is that the changes made to the timeline are actually the stepping stones to Phase 4,
Hmm.
not just the independent spin-off shows, or not the independent spin, but the solo character shows.
Hmm.
But it's going to explain why the new bad guy comes into power.
Hmm.
So the one they're proposing is Kang the Conqueror.
King the
So
Conqueror, yeah.
So it
He's
says
bad.
IGN. The events of Endgame could easily serve as a catalyst for Kang's debut. Perhaps Endgame serves as his origin story. When a young Kang sees how the Avengers are able to manipulate time in order to achieve the impossible goal, he's inspired to do the same. And because, uh, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame, because Thanos is taken out of the timeline, was it 4 years ahead of time?
5 years.
5 years ahead of time. That gives Kang 5 years to come to power
Hmm.
in that same time that Thanos should have been in power and keeping others, potential threats
Hmm.
down.
Yeah, and this is very interesting because um, I don't know if it's in that same IGN article or not, but I've read this somewhere. I can't pinpoint it exactly. But watching the movie the second time, I totally noticed this too. One of the lines that Thanos said is that he tried to destroy the stones, but then he couldn't do it, and look what happened to him. However, he said that he did turn the
subatomic.
stones into atoms, atom size.
He sent them to the subatomic world or subatomic level.
Yeah.
And that was in the movie. He did mention that.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people would just, fly straight past that. But I know a lot of, hardcore fans would know that could be something that's achievable to get to.
Yes, especially when they start manipulating other things.
Yeah.
And another key thing to Kang the Conqueror is also for comic book geeks, he is strongly tied to, it says here, with the Fantastic Four and X-Men and Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
All three franchises are now under Disney control, and Disney's going to want to present them properly. So,
yeah,
what a good way to bring them in. Kind of the same way that all these Avengers were brought in to fight the Thanos threat. These other properties can be brought in to take on Kang the Conqueror.
Okay, so this is one thing I just wish Kevin Feige can just clear up, but I don't think they're gonna clear it up for a while. What shows are canon? What shows are not canon? Because it's really killing me. Like, I mean, I'm okay if the Netflix
what shows would it be canon?
Okay, I know in Humans they tried their best to make it canon, but it was so bad. I wish they can just scrap that and not even say it's canon.
Yeah, I know for the while they tried to distance themselves from Shield, and then Shield because Shield did such a great job in the beginning of being intertwined with the movie universe. And then they kind of disconnected, and I thought that's when that was the end of Shield. But then they started reconnecting again.
Yeah, it's hard to connect because like they try to integrate it with every single movie, but it's hard to do that when some of the movies have like a big time jump, in between.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the first episode, I think it takes place right after the Avengers movie because it's like the New York stuff that happened. All right, son. Anything else in the AMA?
There's one where he confirms that the version of the Hulk in Endgame is known as Smart Hulk. So I found that one very interesting. That he confirmed that's what this Hulk is called. But
and so these were all these the Marvel. So I was seeing some quotes coming from Kevin Feige. So I guess this is where it came from. The other one he confirmed is that again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, skip ahead 30 seconds. But there's no way Black Widow's coming back. Like he reinforced the rules of the Soul Stone. That this soul is stuck there forever.
Okay, so how the heck do you return a Soul Stone?
No. The person.
I know, but it doesn't make sense. So still, like, how do you return a Soul Stone?
You just toss it back in there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something that
again. No, I know, but that's another thing that bugged me from the end of the movie is I think they got lazy trying to explain how all these pieces fell back in place. Yeah. I think we discussed this in our spoiler cast of that one. All right, Don. Anything else?
Nope. That's pretty much it. But I've been really, really happy with all these behind the scene clips that we've been seeing on Twitter and Instagram from Chris
Evans and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And cool. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, both of them posting them. It's funny because Hemsworth posted it, and then I see on Twitter Chris Evans posted. Oh no, it wasn't Chris. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt posted it, and then Chris Evans said, "Oh, thank God, I wasn't the only one that took video."
And I think Elizabeth Olsen did that too.
They all did.
Yeah, they all did.
But I think Chris's joke was like, "What are they gonna do? Fire me?"
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I guess there was like a certain time frame where they couldn't release any of the.
They had to wait like 2 weeks after the premiere,
and then like after it's like, okay, cool, we're off, and then they started releasing their stuff. But it is cool seeing the set and like how it's detailed, but at the same time how minimal they're working with.
Yeah,
and the rest is just
crazy
imagination.
because like the whole entire cast is there too, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What's his name? Uh, damn it, the one of the Ravagers. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Um, the one that was taking over for Mary Poppins at the end of at the end of the volume of yeah Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh, you're talking about James Gunn's brother?
Yeah. What's his name?
Something Gunn.
Oh yeah, so James, yeah, his like he posted, he's like doing he's panning across the set, showing all the actors, and he like turns to him and goes, "I'm pretty sure I'm the most famous person here."
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That was
Like
funny. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh God." All right, that's on. All right, let's get on to our next segment, streaming.
All right, streaming time.
All right, so I've been holding on to this one for a while.
Hmm.
About 2, 3 weeks ago, I watched on Netflix a movie called Triple Frontier.
Okay.
So this stars Ben Affleck,
Hmm.
Batfleck,
Hmm.
Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Ledlund, and Pedro Pascal. Pascal.
Pascal. Pascal.
Pascal.
Yeah.
Pascal.
Okay,
Uh,
let me throw this out first. I always thought that Charlie and what's the other guy's name?
Garrett.
Garrett. I always thought that they look exactly like each other. And
Was,
well,
but
they're in the same movie and they're playing brothers.
I know. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, like, and even in the trailer, I was kind of like, which one is that one? I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the trailer yet, it's about five well, not mercenary, but former soldiers
Hmm.
that go to, I believe it is Colombia. Make sure. Somewhere, a country in South America that has drug problems.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, I'm pretty sure it's Colombia. Um, and they're gonna go rob a drug lord,
A
a cartel
cartel. Yeah.
boss.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Oscar Isaac's character, uh, his name's Santiago Pope Garcia.
Hmm.
He after he left the military, he went down to South America to help the law enforcement kind of keep the streets under control, try to fight the drug war.
Hmm.
And he realized that, you know what, these cops don't care. They're either being paid by the drug lords, or they have no drive to get to the bottom of things. They just want to quickly sweep things under the rug.
Yeah, because it's too risky. Because
Too
people
risky.
can die. Other people can get their cover blown.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
too dangerous.
right, and and it's in the opening scenes of the show or the movie where they're doing a raid,
Hmm.
and Oscar Isaac's character is leading it, and they lose a couple guys in the process because of how dangerous it is. They finally get the say four drug bosses or drug dealers in handcuffs. They're in the shady area, like behind some like restaurant or whatever, interrogating them. And it says like, where is the boss? Where's the cartel boss? We'll never tell you. One of the cops shoots the guy,
Hmm.
and then the other guy says, "Okay, I'll tell you. He's over here." The other cop shoots him too, and I think that's when Oscar Isaac's character like yeah, they were gonna like they don't care, like they don't trust they don't trust the answers they're getting. They don't investigate. They don't do anything. So he says screw it. Uh, so he goes back to the United States and starts recruiting his four buddies
That he trusts
to
from other wars. Hmm.
exactly that they worked with before. He knows they're loyal. He knows they're good, and says, "Hey, you know what? Like, let's go down south. I have a job for us. We are going to rob this guy, this cartel boss. He has lots of money. We're gonna be both gonna help out that small town or city, and B, we're also gonna make money in the process." And to motivate them, he shows like, look, we served in the military. You got, Ben Affleck's character got shot 3 times in the war, and he's struggling to pay his kids' college tuition and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's like it's his way of like, let's let's get what's
So all
owed to
these
us.
guys are having like midlife crisis, and basically, I guess, uh, Oscar Isaac's character Pope, he gives them a way out of
He
their
gives
crisis.
yeah, exactly. He gives them a retirement plan essentially.
Yeah.
Um, it was an interesting concept. That's why it drew me to it because it's almost like a Ocean's 11 meets like some sort of like war movie kind of
Mercenary.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm down. Um, God, this is such a frustrating movie.
Yeah, it
And
is. Yeah.
you watched it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, dude, it's such a frustrating. Like, I saw the whole thing. Um, you can tell at some points it's low budget,
Hmm.
but I was hooked.
Okay, I thought this movie could have been so much better.
It could
Uh,
have,
I
it
mean,
really could have.
the cast that they have is
Yes.
probably like some of the best and rising stars in the action movie world. And dude,
I mean, you have the freaking the Mandalorian. You have Son of Anarchy. You have freaking what's his name?
Tron, the guy
Yeah,
from Tron.
Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have freaking Batflick.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a crazy, crazy cast. Yeah, and for me, uh, like when you watch the movie, first time watching it and not knowing anything about it, you notice the budget of the movie.
you notice the budget,
Yeah,
and again, this is one of those movies that suffer from script holes or
yeah,
plot holes.
hmm
And me and my girlfriend were kind of like laughing. It's funny because I'll say like, "Well, what about this?" And she goes, "I know. I was just thinking about that too. Like, how did
yeah,
like they forgot about that?"
yeah. I
Or
think that,
they'll say we only have it's either going to be A or B, and I'm like, "No, bitch, you have other options. There's other options there."
yeah, yeah. I guess that's the crazy thing about this movie is I think the acting of all of the actors in this one is the only thing that carries the movie through.
Yeah, can I just say
Yeah.
how hilarious that final chase scene is?
Yeah, it's like how many bullets are they dodging? It's like
Not
straight
just
on. There's no way you can miss that.
not
Like,
just that, but at one point a car like Oscar's character like shoots one of the trucks chasing them, and the truck just boosh.
yeah.
And my girlfriend's like, "Wait, nothing hit it. Why did it go flying?" Like there was no reason for it to go flying.
Yeah.
I think that's like them like in their last like, oh, you know what? It's our last scene. We have this extra money left. What can we get? Let's get some catapults.
Let's
Let's make
blow
some
shit.
cars fly.
Yeah, let's blow some shit up.
Yeah, exactly. We
Yeah.
have this beach area. Let's blow shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Anton, since you know what, I brought this movie up. I will give this a 2.25. It's a
2.25.
it's
Okay.
yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. Frustrating, low budget, but the premise is solid. The actors are really interesting. It's worth the cringe for me. What about you?
Okay. I'll put it up probably a little bit more, just because it's watchable.
Yeah.
I would give it a 2.5.
So solid middle of the road.
Yeah, a solid middle of the road, because
You you
anything
agree that
lower, I wouldn't even watch. I would just turn the whole thing off.
that's just a two. I was gonna go two, but it's 2.25 for me.
Hmm.
But it's a Netflix movie, so
Yeah.
if you have Netflix, why not? What does it hurt you to watch?
Hmm.
I think because it's Netflix, it's watchable. If it
Yeah.
was in theaters, we would say wait till Netflix.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
All right.
surprised that. No, I'm not surprised. It's a good thing that it's on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's on. Ready to move on to our last segment, movies?
Yes, let's get into movies.
All right. So, box office numbers
Hmm.
for probably the last weekend. We have that number one, Avengers Endgame. Number two, Detective Pikachu. Oh,
Hmm.
sorry. Avengers with 737.9 million.
Hmm.
Number two, Detective Pikachu with 66.4 million. And number three, The Hustle with 16.2 million. Uh, yeah, so this weekend, we record on Thursday. starting tomorrow or tonight. When does John Wick come out?
Officially, it would be Friday.
Friday. So John Wick is more likely than is the most likely to take out Avengers as number one. Detective Pikachu came really close. It outboxed number the Avengers movie by a couple million on Friday, but it lost to Avengers on Saturday and Sunday. So Avengers took that weekend. John Wick, as long as John Wick makes, I think I told one of our listeners on Lupe on Twitter, if John Wick makes between 50 to 60 million throughout the weekend, it will take number one, because this is going to be Avengers' fourth weekend. It's people have seen it already. It's starting to dwindle a little bit. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I know that a lot of people have really jumped onto the John Wick bandwagon since the last movie, because
so you can say.
No,
no, I agree. You're right.
Yeah, you've been seeing it because if you look at the money trend on ticket sales for the first movie, I mean, they did okay. The second movie they did really well, and it's going to be a no-brainer that this is going to be doing even better. It's kind of weird because, like, comparing this series to Taken, for example, I mean, it's a trilogy, but the first movie did okay, the second movie did really good, and then the third movie's just shit. But this movie is kind of weird. It's more of a bigger incline. So I'm guessing this is going to be the last movie in the series. But, I mean, if they continued it with another chapter, I would be pretty happy too. But that would be stretching it a little too much, because the storyline since the very beginning, like you heard of it, is kind of like such a very weird plot. A very small plot. And they make fun of it in the trailer. So I'm guessing this might be the end of it, but I'm okay if they have another one. Yeah, but I don't know where the incline or decline after the movie, just depending on where the story goes.
Yeah, I always assume when movies start calling themselves chapter, I think they're planning like at least 5 movies.
Yeah.
That's what my thought process. Like, if not, you would say part 1, part 3, or 1, 2, or 3. But when they start saying chapters, I'm like, you want multiple chapters. What book has 3 chapters?
Okay, so this is a news that I would like to add to this movie section. So this news came out last week after we recorded the previous episode. I know you heard about this too, but we haven't brought it up yet. So after the rise of Skywalker, there's going to be a big gap in between where we won't be getting any Star Wars movies. But when we do get Star Wars movies, it's going to be produced. Let me see here. It's going to be coming from the showrunners of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
David Benioff and D.B. Wise.
Which fans are loving this last season, so I'm sure that's going over well.
Yeah. You've been reading up on what's going on so far on people's reactions?
I've been seeing people bitching on social media about let's redo this season. We want a better season.
Shit like this has to happen. This show has never really been a favor for anybody. But I mean, they do some justice to a lot of characters that we fall in love with, but we have to understand that this show and the book is not what it seems, and people have to accept it like that. That's just how it is.
Yeah, no, okay, here. All right. So the reaction I was seeing, and this is coming from an outside perspective, since I haven't been watching the season. I see people going, there isn't enough death in there. There's not a lot of like key characters are dying. Like, where are the deaths? Where's the peril of this world that we were used to? And then last week happened, and then I'm hearing people being, well, that's not how I would have done it.
How
dare they?
Yeah, but
blah, blah, blah.
See, this is this is the big problem with people who don't appreciate writing, because you have
This
to
is Star
have.
Wars all over again.
Yeah, this is like Star Wars, the Last Jedi all over again.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
it doesn't matter what it is at this point. I mean, it's towards the end of the whole entire series. We know that some shit's gonna go down. It has to go down a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm not giving away anything too much because
No,
you haven't seen it.
well, no, and also the third thing I want to point out is if things went out exactly how people wanted, then the criticism we would be hearing is that was such a un,
That was so predictable.
yeah, it was a predictable season.
Yeah,
That wasn't the big boom we wanted. There was no surprise. So I'm like, there's no pleasing these fans now,
yeah. See,
and that's what
okay.
sucks.
So the first part of the season has been great. It's because fans are getting what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It was very predictable on what was going to happen. I mean, there was
which you heard it was boring because people
yeah,
wanted the action.
yeah, exactly. And when they did have the action, people were still complaining about it, like
Right.
the dark scene.
It's so freaking dumb, dude. I'm like, but so we saw that. Yeah, we saw this in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We
Mhm.
saw this in the Harry Potter, both the book and the movies,
Yes.
where it didn't end the way people wanted to. Certain characters didn't end up the way people wanted. We saw this in the Hunger Games, which
Yeah.
I agree with on that one because that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Uh, as a feminist,
Uh-huh.
I thought that ending was bullshit.
Yeah.
But like I accepted it. I didn't
Mhm.
say, you know what? No, J.K. Rowling, go rewrite this last book that you wrote for the Harry Potter series.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. Disney, nice try. Give me a better Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
No, like it's stupid. Like you take this, you love the storyteller so far. Let the storyteller finish telling their story. Don't
Mhm.
influence them. Don't interact. Um, this is a sucks thing because I'm like, dude, the fans could have been enjoying the season that they waited so long for,
Mhm.
and instead they're nitpicking because it's not good enough for them,
It's not
or
up
not.
to par.
Which is funny because people were so I usually just kind of like for like fandom posts like that I don't interact,
Mhm.
but there was one post that I saw that was what was it? Oh, they rushed the season. They need to go back and redo it and take their time. Like they took 2 years to film this and like to write it, and I know part of it was because they wanted was it Norway where they filmed this?
Yeah. They filmed it in Iceland.
Iceland. Like in Iceland, like they needed Iceland to be a certain like season for
Belfast.
them
Is
to use
Belfast Iceland or
uh,
Ireland?
Ireland, I think.
Belfast. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, like they needed it to be a certain season so they can get that gloomy weather,
Mhm. And you
and so
only
they did
get like however many months, and it takes time to build
exactly,
sets.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they waited. They put that effort towards the script. Um, Characters grow up, like
Mhm.
actors grow up, and I'm like for fans to demand another season to be redone. I'm sorry, but like certain actors, they're ready to move on. They love Game of Thrones. They made they owe their thanks to the fans of Game of Thrones for their rising stardom.
Yeah.
But
Loyalty. Yeah.
yeah, but they're ready to move on to other projects. Some of them
Mhm.
have been withholding projects.
Dude, it's
Uh,
10 years since the show
did
came out.
Did you see Constance Wu's reaction to Fresh Off the Boat being renewed?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. She was joking around. People took it too seriously. She's
But I
like,
mean, but at the same time too, like she's partly being honest. Like she's not like upset, like outraged, but at the same
mm-hmm,
time, like she's ready to do other projects. She's a really high in demand actress right now.
mm-hmm, yeah,
So it's yeah, no fans, not our listeners. They're great,
yeah,
but other fans.
yeah. Hey, I checked out that new Aquafina trailer where she's in a serious role. Um,
I think say she's in a serial.
a serial. No, she's not a serial killer.
Okay. No.
Um,
No, I'm in cereal like breakfast cereal.
oh, I thought you were talking about the podcast. Uh,
Oh no. Oh, that's true.
great
There's a cereal.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot what the name of the movie is. Let me just type in her name.
Oh, look, this is selling Aquafina.
Oh, it's called The Farewell. It's where she finds out that her grandmother is dying.
Hmm.
So she has to go to China with her parents, and nobody in the family knows except them. So she's trying to do whatever she can to spend time with her grandma, but she can't, tell her like anything because no one knows except them. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see that.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds interesting. That's a good premise.
Hmm.
All right, Anton. You know what? Before we wrap up, let me just give a quick rundown of our movie draft.
Okay.
So at number one right now we have Team Vixen with 700, damn, with 76.6 million. Second place we have my brother RG from Deep Dives and Rabbit Holes with 666.0 66 million. Jesus, I can't talk.
Hmm.
Number three, Roz with 22.1 million. Fourth place, you, Anton, with 21.4 million. Fifth place, I'm right behind you with 13.9 million. Sixth place, Josias, right behind me by less than a million, but with 13 million. And Carl is in seventh place with a whopping zero.
I'm really surprised with the long shot doing this well. So, yeah,
Yeah,
very
no,
surprised.
yeah. I mean, the long shot is that's good amount of money for a low budget, produced movie.
Hmm.
Uh, the Summer Movie Challenge, I will go really quick with this one too. We have Victorious with 72.8 million, Kristen with 22.1 million, Martha with 15.7 million, myself in fourth place with 14.7 million, and Carlos, Clarissa, Crazy, Sick-Witted, and Sunny with zero.
I forgot what movie I chose for that. Is there a place where I can look?
Yeah, I put it on our website, but I'll
Hmm.
probably put another post to make it more prominent. You can
Hmm.
still reach it from the sign up post.
Okay.
But for you, let me say it.
Hmm?
Let me tell you what movies you
Okay,
have.
sure, yeah.
Spider-Man: Far From Home, Aladdin, Dora and the Lost City of Gold, and Yesterday.
Hmm. I
So I think
think,
solid picks.
yeah, I think those will probably be the closest to the top because of Spider-Man, mainly.
Yeah. Sorry, but Victorious is going to start falling down sharply because she has Detective Pikachu, and I don't think that's going to break. Actually, my projection for Detective Pikachu
I
is
think the highest it's going to go is probably about 80. Because
uh
it's at 66 right now, right? Or 60 something?
yeah, right now it's projected at 167, but that's not going to happen. I think
No.
something's wrong.
I think
Something's wrong.
80 and 90 would be at the highest for the 30 days. Yeah.
Yeah, well, something's wrong with that algorithm. I'm like, there's no
Hmm.
ways I'm gonna make 167.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably yeah, low hundreds.
Hmm.
All right, Anton. If people want to support our movie geekness, how can I do that?
They can do that by going to our website at www.the2oc.com and go to our store section where they can probably purchase some stickers or t-shirts. And if there was something that we talked about on the show that they're interested in probably purchasing, they can click on any of the links that is provided in our Twitter, Instagram, or even on our website banner. It'll take them to Amazon.com and gives us a little kickback. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been posting some good deals.
Hmm.
I'm proud of those. I wish I can use our own codes.
Yeah. So,
Too
anyways,
bad.
yeah, go ahead.
No, no, go.
Okay. So today's podcast is also brought to you by audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/the2OC. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Yes, sir. Uh, People can also follow us on social media at the 2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to sign up for our contest sweepstakes, I should say, on Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, all you have to do is comment your favorite MCU movie, tag two friends, and like the post and or retweet it. Just follow the instructions on the picture. You can also send us an email to mail@the2oc.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Look at our page. We record every Thursday unless there's a big movie premiere or something happens.
Mm-hmm.
And also don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite podcatcher app.
Mm-hmm.
The 2OC.
Yep.
All right, Anton. Is that it? Did we do everything?
I think I kind of know why we don't have a lot of people on Twitter that's doing the contest. I think it's because we have more followers. On.
I will say, for the most part, I think I neglect Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Twitter gets content, but Twitter doesn't get interaction.
Because there's not a lot of pictures, just mostly text.
No. I put pictures, but
yeah, but people.
I don't comment and communicate back and forth like I do on Instagram with people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, for the 2OC, I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.